Hi everyone. Good day. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to another episode of Grow with Elegance. For those who are joining us for the first time, Grow with Elegance is a bi-monthly series that we have as part of our initiative at Elegance Media, and is to showcase. Our main goal is to showcase those that actually have intentionally be making best use of their online platform. They've been showing up, they've grown in their career, celebrating them, celebrating their intentionality, especially when it comes to being visible online. Aside from that, Elegance Media on its own, we are an agency that help businesses and organizations to make the best use of their online platform. So we work with small business owners, large organizations to make the best use of online platforms. Aside from that, on our social impact side, we also like empower people to have the same skills. We empower them to have the same skills that we are using to help businesses and organizations. So if you're a starter, we have the Elegance empowerment session for those that are just starting their career. It doesn't have to be just tech. It doesn't have to be a tech career. So if you're just starting like a business, you want to like understand how to stay visible online, this session is for you. It happens once a year and it's going to be starting soon. For those that have experience, if you have experience in tech, you have been doing the work, you have been putting in the work, in any career that you have chosen. We also have the visibility sprint. For the visibility sprint, we help people who are already doing the work to like make the best use of their skills when it comes to when it comes to showing up online and getting things done. So like telling people out there that you have the skills, this is what you have done, this is the impact you are making, and just showing up online in a way to even prepare you for the bigger thing. Okay, so this is another episode, and it's going to get interesting as time goes on. We are going to be inviting people who have actually taken this step that we've mentioned, people who have actually walked through this path. We are going to be bringing them on board to tell you how they are doing it and to like share with you some of the strategies that they've used in order to achieve this. So, thank you so much. So today we have one special person with us. Um, I think she's going to join back. She just dropped off. So we have Uduak Okure with us. I hope I'm pronouncing that well. Uduak is an executive virtual assistant to tech founders and business coaches. She specializes in customer support, and she's also a community manager. So that's, I think, one skills that we both have. She has over 5 years experience in this field, and she provide high level support. I said she specialized in um, high level customer support. Uduak is also the founder of VirtualHyve. I just want to be sure. Okay, so as I mentioned before, Uduak is the founder of VirtualHyve, and today she's going to be taking us through our journey so far. She'll be sharing some of our experience with us, and we also have like some questions that we're going to ask her, and she will be sharing insights on those. And if anybody have any question, maybe during the live show, you can ask in the comments. And even after the live show, you want to connect with Doak, we are going to be sharing I think our details is already in the description of this video, so you can. So right now I need everyone to just take notes, listen, and yes, I'm going to be bringing Uduak on stage now. Hello.
Hi everyone. Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so let's just get into it. I think I've done a bit of introduction, but my traditional people used to say nobody can introduce you like yourself. So let's get into it. I've introduced you a bit, and tell people what you're doing about VirtualHyve, about your special skills, and also on. But let's hear from you. Tell us more about yourself, and you can tell us maybe fun fact about you as well.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Uduak Okure, and I'm a virtual assistant. I've over the past 5 years, I think I've worked to support business owners and founders to make sure that their business operations run very smoothly. So, career-wise, that's what I do. Then, passionately, I love to help. I think maybe that's one of the things that makes me like a fantastic virtual assistant. I love to help people. So that's one of the reasons why I take out time to train, to mentor people, especially remote work. I'm a very, very big advocate of remote work. I believe that there should be like work-life balance, being able to control your schedule, time, and everything. I'm big on that. So I do hold trainings, and that's one of the things that Virtual Hive is all about, trying to equip people with digital skills so they can work comfortably remotely from the comfort of their home. And also, it's about a community to help, because as a remote worker, it can sometimes feel as if you're alone, you're in your space and all of that. So the essence of Virtual Hive is, that you're not doing this alone. You have a community to support you along the way, and also internship, access to internship to try to create opportunities for people that maybe just finished learning a skill, need to practice what they've learned before they start taking on jobs. So that's like one of the few things that we do at Virtual Hive. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. I think with this introduction, I have like a lot of questions to ask you at once, but I'm going to just take it one step at a time. It's really interesting to like learn more about you and learn how you're giving back to the community. See, virtual assistants. I'm sorry to say, I'm going to say virtual assistants is a one like a main role that people don't really know the value. I mean, like what virtual assistants people does, what they do is actually very significant in a way that I, as a founder who has like a full-time job, who has like other projects I'm contributing to, I have a lot of things on my table. And I used to tell my EA that you are just that person that makes life easier for me in general. But people don't really know that part. And I think at some point as well, I'm beginning to see that most people want to come into tech, especially, and think virtual assistance is the escape route. Meanwhile, my own executive assistants need to like even bring ourselves up to skill to even use tools that I use as a program manager, to even look for tools that I'm supposed to be using to make my work easier. We are going to get there. That's why I said I have a lot of questions I'm going to ask you. But let's start one step at a time. So the next question I'm going to ask is actually about you. How did it all start? Like, how was it? How did you know this is actually what you want to do? And just like everybody who is just starting the career path, how was the early days like for you?
Okay, so I think my very first job, like some 6 years ago, was as an executive assistant. I worked to support a founder of an organization. So that was my first experience being, I mean, then we used to call it PA, being a PA to someone. So managing her schedule and everything, that was it. Then eventually, as I went through life, I digressed, did a couple of other things, and then 3 years back, and I started, I think at 2022, during that ALX first batch of virtual assistant course, I'm like, okay, yes, this is something I've done supporting 2 or 3 founders. Let me just go ahead and just take this course and see what the course. It was just like out of curiosity, let me take this course, right? And I went ahead to register, sign up for that course. And it was like eye opening, taking from the experience that I have and discovering that I was doing all those things manually. And there's a way I could have done this using tools, using softwares to make work very, very easy. So it was like an eureka moment, like, oh wow, I mean, I'm going to thrive at this because I mean, it's something I know how to do very well. And like I said, I think I have a knack for helping people. So naturally, I just love to help people become the best of themselves. So yeah, I went ahead, I took the course, and I started working with clients. And the good thing here is I was no longer tied to being on site working for clients physically. I could access the global markets and work for clients in different countries, different continents, different regions. So it was a very, very exciting thing for me, having to start earning in foreign currencies and all. But yeah, starting out, it wasn't always easy. It wasn't as smooth as always because, I mean, I didn't have a mentor then. I had just taken an online course and I was starting out on my own. There was no community and I had to navigate everything by myself, how to apply for the jobs, a lot of research. So it wasn't all smooth when I started. I mean, yeah, so over the years, I mean, gathering up the experience together, it all led to where I am today.
Okay, thank you so much for that insight, Uduak. So let me pick a little bit about what I mentioned before. A lot of persons are coming into tech. You started your career even as far back as when people were calling it PA, personal assistant, and you took like some courses. You were very intentional about applying for job. You research skills. You learn how to use tools, I think, and so on. But a lot of people are coming, especially into tech, and feel like, oh, virtual assistance is like an escape route. So what would you say actually, which is not bad, right? People can start their career and say, okay, this is what I want to do. And with proper planning, right, they can, you know, take that journey. But for you, with your experience, what do you think makes someone credible when it comes to virtual assistance in today's remote job markets?
Okay. Oh, I know I had to breathe first because if I could count the number of times people have reached out to me to say, "Oh, how do I get started? I want to become a virtual assistant," and I'm like, "Okay, why do you want to become a virtual assistant?" I mean, I want to start making money. I want to start earning in foreign currency. If I could count the number of times, I mean, or maybe if I got $1 for every question I've been asked, I would need to work less because I'll be making more. Okay, so I will always say this: virtual assistant is not an easy route to break into tech to start earning because I'm telling you, to be a good virtual assistant, you need to have, you see, your toolkit needs to be large. Your toolkit, you even have to know, you need to have an idea about everything from customer support to project management tools to design tools to social media management to there is a lot to learn as a virtual assistant. Don't forget the core of a VA is support. You need to be able to support the individual, the client, in a way that they feel supported. So there's a lot of work to be. So it's not like an easy way to just break into tech. People always have that misconception because you're not coding, you're not designing and all of that. So they feel like, let me just jump in here, right? So for the second part of the question you asked me, you said, what makes you stand out? What makes you credible as a virtual assistant? I would say it's ownership. What makes an excellent virtual assistant is ownership. When you're working for someone, when you're supporting a client, work handle it as if it's your business. What would you are like the behind the scenes leader, you are the behind the scenes boss. You understand? There are even some times that your boss doesn't know that this thing should be done, and you're the one that points it out to the person that, oh, I think this should be done. So if you're the kind of person that waits to be told what to do, you would not thrive as a virtual assistant because a VA needs to be proactive. You need to anticipate client needs, very important. And another thing is you need to be a problem solver. Nobody hires a VA that every small thing you're running to your boss, how do I do this? How do I do this? That's why one of the core things you need to learn as a VA is research. You need to know how to make researches. You need to know how to find information, right? So A problem solver, being a problem solver, someone that prefers solutions when they're faced with problems and all. These are the qualities that make you like the go-to virtual assistant, the VA that stands out. You get. So yeah.
Thank you so much for the insights. You mentioned something about taking ownership. I've been opportune to like um, interview virtual assistants for some of our clients, and during the interview you're going to hear something like, oh, I am so intentional about my clients, anything that makes my clients comfortable, anything that makes my clients rest, just supporting my clients. And when they get the job, it's the other way around. Like your client is having meeting by 10, you are not even aware. So, and they actually think they're actually credible. That I think that's one of the things that I remembered that make me ask that question. um as someone who has experience in this field, what are some mistakes that you think some persons have made? I think we've highlighted some. I don't know if you want to add like some other things.
Okay.
Maybe what they think, mistake they've made, and how do you think they could have corrected it?
Okay. For one, I would say clarity. A lot of virtual assistants lack clarity in
Hmm.
what I would say. This virtual assistant is, it's like saying I'm a lawyer. Lawyers know that there are different aspects of law. We have corporate law, we have criminal law, we have property law, and the rest of that. So saying I'm a virtual assistant is like saying I'm a lawyer, right? People lack clarity. You need to know what you're good at, what you're doing, what you can offer people. So for instance, let's say LinkedIn. When someone goes to your page on LinkedIn, they should clearly know exactly what you do, right? So people would just say, I'm a virtual assistant. Okay, okay. How can you understand? So a lot of people lack clarity in what they offer. So assuming now you say, you position yourself and say, I'm a real estate virtual assistant. A property owner that's looking for a VA knows that you are the person to go to. You are the person that you have experience managing properties, and you're going to have the skills that he's looking for. Or you tell, oh, I'm an e-commerce VA. Maybe I'm a business owner that I own an e-commerce website. I know you're my go-to person because you have experience using the tools, you have the skills I'm looking for. Or you tell me, oh, I'm a medical virtual assistant, a medical VA. I'm coming to you as someone that it's in healthcare that needs a VA, knowing that you have the understanding of the terms in medicine, you know how to support the patients in my hospital, and how to use like EMRs and all of that. So clarity is one of the key mistakes that virtual assistants make. They don't take their time to break it down. Or let me just say the word niche. They're everywhere. Like you can't be everywhere if you want to stand out. People need to know you for what you're good at and what you can do. Yeah, so that's like one of the key mistakes that I see a lot of virtual assistants do.
I think you've actually nailed the mistake because I totally agree with you. Um, in career generally, without clarity, it's easier for you to say, "Oh, I want to be a software engineer. Oh, I want to be a designer. And yes, I want to design the website. Then I want to do the development side of things. And later you can say, I want to write documentation. And yes, you can learn everything, but you might not be able to like master everything. Unlike when you say, okay, this is what I want to do, I have interest for other ones, but this is my focus. I think with that, it's going to help virtual assistants. Say you want to, just like you mentioned, um if your client is in so field and that's where your expert is, you'll be able to like even go out of your way to support the person even more. Thank you so much, Uduak, for that. Okay, so let's move on. I have a question under that, but I'm going to come back to it. So let's
I'm
move
here
on
for it.
to okay, so let's move on to visibility. So the
Okay.
main purpose of us having like sessions like this, especially this Grow with Elegance session, is to tell people that some persons are out there who are doing it. They've walked this path before. They have actually stayed visible. I know it's not easy. A lot of persons actually struggle with it. So how do you stay consistent and be visible, especially without being burnout? Should I add burnout? Okay, I think that's a two in one question. So let me leave it to you.
Okay, so I would say first, I staying consistent is like showing up, right? For instance, you want to show up on social media, you want to be seen. Okay. For me, I feel like the first thing you need to do is to pick a platform. If you look at sorry, I'm going to digress a bit, but I'm coming. If you look at like most of all these kit makers, right? They chose like a platform to start building on. Maybe when they gain grounds on maybe TikTok, assuming they want to start with TikTok, they built on TikTok, exploded on TikTok. Then I decided to, oh, maybe let me start showing up on Instagram, or let me start showing up building on whatever platform they want to, right? But they always start somewhere. Or maybe someone starts from Instagram and builds there, gets the traction that they want before moving to another platform, right? So when you want to get visibility, you want to first of all be known on a platform. Choose the platform you want to start building your visibility on, right? For me, I chose LinkedIn to build. And in less than a year, it's been less than a year, I started building on LinkedIn. As at when I started, I mean, I had like 200 and something followers. And in less than 1 year, I've built over 20,000 plus followers because I knew I put in the effort to build on a platform, right? Now I can decide to say, oh, let me branch out to other platforms and get to build. So the first thing is pick the platform you want to build on. Then number two is of course, you've gotten clarity, the kind of content you want to share, and all of that. For me, I have what I call an idea funnel. Let me leave big grammar. I just have like maybe like my notepad where I put anything that comes to my mind. I put it. I put it anything that comes to my mind. I could be washing plates and then the idea just drops in my head. I'll just clean my hands, pick up my phone, type it in immediately. So that way I always have content. If I want to show up, like if I want to show up from now till December and I want to post every single day, trust me, I will not run out of content because I have an idea funnel I've built over time. That's one. Then two, I batch create content. You get, so I could sit down one day, create content for maybe 2, 3, 4 days, or maybe I want to shoot videos. I'll just batch create everything. So that way, the pressure of what am I posting this day, what am I posting that day is not there. I've planned ahead of time. I even do a monthly content calendar. I may not even follow it. I may not even follow it, but because there's some days that you just wake up and then a fresh idea day just drops. You want to push that one out first, you get. But what it does is that there's a consciousness that you will not have writer's block because you won't be thinking, what am I posting today? What am I posting tomorrow? There is where you can draw content from, you can pick content from anywhere. So that actually helps me, to stay visible, to show up consistently and all of that. And also importantly, right? I've seen people trying because they want to be visible. They be posting, people are saying show up consistently. They want to post every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. I'm not saying it's bad to post every day. Of course, I have done a 90-day streak before, posted every single day for 90 days, and I know the results I got from it, right? But sometimes it's okay to take breaks. Do you get? It's okay to take breaks because some people feel like I want to show up every day, and they end up even posting things that are out of their niche. They're just posting everything. Why are you showing up? Why are you trying to be visible so that people can know you for something? If I'm reading your content, if I'm going through your timeline, you want to be known for something. So it beats the intention completely when you're just posting random thing, everything, just because you want to like stay visible. You get. So that's just it. Visibility is consistency is very, very good. But while you're showing up consistently, make sure that the content you're putting out there is valuable. So the key is value. That value you're putting out daily, or maybe weekly, or however you want to pace it, that is what is going to give you the visibility that you want.
Thank you so much, Uduak. I can totally relate with like the insights you just like gave. Starting from, so for anybody that is just getting started, any career you've chosen for yourself, as Uduak mentioned, find a platform that you want to use. their different platform. The kind of content or the way people consume content on TikTok is different from on LinkedIn. These platforms have different audience, and there's a way that people expect. So I can't go on Instagram, for example, and just want to read like captions. Even if I'm going to read caption, you should give me the captions in a creative way, maybe like slideshow or something. Twitter is different as well. TikTok is different. So choose the one that you want to use. In our case, she chose LinkedIn. What did I choose in my case? I think LinkedIn as well and some other platforms. Okay, so in her case, she chose LinkedIn. So choose the platform that you want to use to sell your brand. And she also mentioned something about not just choosing or not just setting the goal of I want to post in total number of days, but being very intentional about it. Why do you want to do it? Who do you want to do it for? And how are you going to do it? Show up consistently but intentionally. And if you need to take a break, do it. I used to tell some of my mentees that the way Omotola is going to show up is not the same way you are going to show up. And I always encourage people to show up for themselves. Okay, I was talking to someone recently and I said, do you know most times when I post on LinkedIn, I post because something is happening. Like there's a reason for me to post. And most times I post for me. I post because I have this idea, I just want to share it, or I want to keep it there. And I also mentioned that if you want to like post for example, I think I can hear myself back. I don't know. I can okay, I think it's better now. So if you want to, what was I saying? You want to show up on LinkedIn, show up, know your why, have a reason, and show up at your own pace. Don't say, oh, this person is posting every day, I should do the same thing. Mm-mm. Show up at your own pace. And just like Uduak also mentioned, right? Our daily life is full of content. I'm a community manager. I work full time. Everything that happens in a day at work is content. I am reading. I'm currently pursuing my master's. I am reading. Sometimes I just come across something, or maybe I just finished this week course and I did assessments, and I'm like, I really like the topic we treated this week. And I'm going to summarize it and put it on LinkedIn. I did one interview recently and I was asked a question and I think I answered it, but I didn't answer it the way I wanted. After the interview, I went back, I read more about it. I was able to like put my thoughts together and I wrote an article on it. Everything that happened in our life is content. So you have to be very intentional about. So you are not just going to say, "Oh, I'm writing a book, that is the content. So let me put I'm writing a book out." So it is very important for you to be able to like collate that thing, then think about what is my brand known for? How does this thing associate with my brand? What is the goal? So if I post this thing, who do I want them to read it? How do I want people to see me? Plan yourself. I think I'm going too much. So let me go to the next
I actually
question.
love the insights you're sharing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Listen, managers, we tend to talk too much. That's something. So sometimes I have to like, okay, let's stop it. Let's go back. Okay, so let's go to the next question. We've been talking about intentionality, we've been talking about visibility. So for you, in your case, how has this helped you to shape your career? And do you have like any scenario that or where you have actually landed a role or an opportunity that you didn't even apply for because you were actually intentionally showing up?
Well, I mean, where do I start from? I always say this that one of the best decisions I made, like the best decisions I made for myself was showing up. That's the best thing. I mean, I went from someone that, in fact, let me just give you a little backstory so you understand what I'm talking about. So, I mean, I've always admired what people post on LinkedIn and all of that, but I never knew where to start from. I was doing a lot, but I just didn't know how to, like, if it was valuable enough. I didn't even know how. I was always confused. So there's a course I took last year, and then towards ending of the course, they actually made us to like start posting on LinkedIn. As part of the assignments. Go optimize your LinkedIn, take a picture, submit, post your first content, submit. All this kind of. I had to do it. I wasn't even. I started doing it right, but in the past months, I have gone from that girl that didn't know, like, was confused on what to share, that girl that didn't even know how to put her thoughts together, to building a community, to building a brand, right? And I don't want to talk about the jobs because I mean, it's like you get to a point where you turn down clients. Do you understand? You get to a point where you turn down clients, right? Because maybe they don't align with your values, they don't align with what you're building or what your career, you get. So there's been like DMs from clients wanting to work with me. Then collaborations. I've gotten to collaborate with so many creators, hosting events of my own, inviting them to speak, being invited to speak at events. I've even I've influenced for brands, like popular brands, I've been invited to collaborate, influence for brands. It's done a lot for me personally. Even, I mean, if someone had really told me last year that I would have been building a brand, I would have been like, nah, I don't think I'm up for that. But the growth led me to the point where I said, okay, yes, I mean, it's time to build a community. And I mean, VirtualHyve was born from showing up, was born from the visibility of showing up. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I hope people that are watching or are going to watch this video later, even if you are watching this video in years to come, I hope you are learning one or two things from this insight that has been that is being shared. Okay, so let's move to the next question. People have listened to your story, have it how it has shaped your career, and someone is out there thinking, I've heard you, but I'm actually still scared to start. I don't know what to do. I have heard you. I have listened to your story. It's interesting. But I'm scared to start showing up. What will people say? What do I want to post that people have not heard before? How do I do it? A young girl from, sometimes when I share my story, people used to say, are you sure? And I'm like, that is it. Somebody is still out there also thinking, I'm still, very young. I don't even have this career yet. How do I start? I'm scared. So, how do I start?
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and start giving you an aspire to acquire and acquire speech. I'll just say one thing. Just start. As you're saying, how do I start? Start. Because honestly, if I didn't have that push to make my first post, if I didn't have that push to make my second post, till today, I'm very certain I wouldn't have built on LinkedIn. And because of I started, I know how many hundreds of people I have been able to help and influence them to start on LinkedIn. So the key is just to start. Start scared, start unsure, start confused, but just start. You might start writing content right now and it's sounding maybe robotic because you don't know how to put your thoughts together, collect them, like infuse storytelling. But I can bet you that the more you write, the more you post, the more you compose, the better you get at collecting your thoughts, the better you get at putting down everything, making it interesting, hooking people to read from you. So you don't get better by thinking, you get better by starting. And one more thing I would add is that do it for your future self. Like maybe right now, you may not really understand the impact this is going to make. But think about creators like, I mean, I don't want to start mentioning it, but think about these creators that started posting one video, two videos, three videos. Nobody knew them. Nobody knew what they were doing. We didn't even, it was like they will post and crickets, nothing. One like, two like from close friends. But maybe because Tunde had not reposted their video, or maybe because someone saw it and reposted it somewhere, traction, boom, before you know it, brand is building and everything. So you start, even if you're not getting the visibility, the traction you're looking for, it's like you're putting stones on top of each other. And a time will come when you look at the structure you've built from those stones you've piled up and you'll be proud of what you've done so far.
Awesome. You have actually you ended up saying aspire to aspire. You didn't want to, but you did actually. Keep showing up. If you're watching this video, I've said it again, I'm going to say it again, and I'm still going to say it. Go back to the previous episode that we have on this Grow with Elegance initiative. Watch people like share their story of how they started. They were not even sure. I started my career even though I knew what I wanted, and I knew what I wanted, and I knew that these are some things I need to do to get there. But when the main career started, I was just doing it because I love to do it, not because I had it figured out. And trust me, nobody, not even now, nobody have everything figured out. And just like Uduak mentioned, just start. Show up as yourself for yourself. And that is one thing, if I'm to talk about my career, that is one thing I used to tell people. I said, Omotola will always show up for herself, not even for
Exactly.
that person that wants to read my content that will gain from it. The first thing, the goal of me writing that article, of doing that video, of posting that content is for myself. And then from myself, I know, of course, one person is going to read it, even if they're not going to like it, put like or put comments. They read it and they are like, oh, Omotola is making sense because I know that I make sense because I'm doing it for myself.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
also to mention that all those little efforts, that drop of water, everything is going to combine
Yes,
together.
attention.
And when you start using it, you look back and you'll be like, oh, thank God I did that in the past. And it will start to make sense. So just start, don't be afraid, just do it. Okay, so let's talk about the
Just do it.
yes, just do it. Okay, let's talk about virtual Hive. Tell us more about virtual Hive. I saw recently that you guys like had like initiative, the 14 days visibility challenge. What
Okay.
inspires it, and what have you learned running from it? Running it, yeah.
Okay. So I'll be very honest with you. That visibility challenge started like it started like jokes. Let me just give a little backstory. So like I said, I started showing up last year September. I think that was roughly around the time I made my first post. And I mean, I was just, showing up in a platform where you have no voice. It's like one like here, two likes there. And then a friend of mine said, okay, let's come together, support each other. Let's create a group. Let's show up for 30 days straight, and then we comment on each other's posts. That's just how we started. Let's comment on each other's posts. At least if we can get other people to join us, let's say maybe like 40 people join us, you know that certainly you have 40 comments and 40 reactions on your post. That will give it like a push. And I'm like, okay, that's good. I don't have to do this alone. So we came together as friends and started it. And within 30 days, I had gone from someone that had 200 followers to 2,000 followers. And we're like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. Let's push it again. We went for the next 30 days, and from 2,000, I went to 6,000 followers within 2 months. So at that point in time, I was sharing my post impressions. Like I was posting my impressions, the um engagements I was getting. And people were like, oh my god, this is awesome. Can we join? And I'm like, no, 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 I'm not actually organizing it too. I'm just doing it with my friends. And they're like, please add us, join us. And it's not something that you organize. So I said, okay, let me just test run this thing. I posted the link. If you're interested, join. 500 people joined the group. And I was like, initially I panicked because, like I said, I just started showing up on the platform. How do I manage this 500 people? You get, I got some help from people and we put together a structure, and it was fantastic. It was mind blowing. People were reaching out to me. Thank you so much. This last 30 days, I have gotten this, I have gained this. And I told myself, okay, let's make this happen. First first version, 14 days visibility challenge. Let me put in effort to this thing and see what's going to happen. And from the testimonies, I usually love to post the testimonies, the screenshots from it. It was fantastic. People got jobs. Someone even got a relocation job to Canada from that 14 days visibility challenge. People were getting internship opportunities and so many success stories. I just knew within, like in my heart of hearts, that this has come to stay. So that was it. That was just the backstory and on how 14 days visibility to Dark started. And like I said, what I learned from it has it. I mean, I wouldn't say more than the fact that visibility, consistency, right? It builds trust. People trust who they see. You understand? If maybe you are on and off, it's hard to maybe, in fact, people trust who they remember. Let me use that, who they remember. So you are in their faces, they're seeing from you, they're hearing from you, and it's not just hearing from you, you are actually sharing value, what is helping people, what people can relate to, right? It's easy for opportunities to open up to you. So yeah, that's it.
That's true. Thank you for adding that. And I think you've answered my next question about the transformation. You've mentioned people got internship opportunity, people got even relocation opportunity, and so on. And yes, this platform is available for people. People joined. And I would want to think that even as 500 persons actually showed interest to join, there are still some people who struggle. So, what do you think visibility when it comes to visibility, why do you think it's like a struggle for some persons?
um I feel like people struggle with visibility because um they are on they think more about like what will people say about these, they, like you said, something you said, you show up for yourself, right? People tend to want to think too much about, and I mean, I was there. There was a point where I was there. You understand? You second guess your content, like, will this be valuable? Will people, would this, would this help someone there? Would this, when you start, like, when you start with so much uncertainties and all of that, you would not post. That's one thing, you would not post. For me, when I started out, I was, in fact, I didn't start out because I wanted to build a community. I didn't start out because I wanted visibility. I started out because, I mean, I learned a course, and my key then was documenting. I wanted to just document. I want to document the tools I'm learning, the insights I've gotten, the skills I've gotten. And my first posts were all about the tools I'm learning and all of. And I realized that as I was sharing this, people were actually learning from it. People were asking questions. People were like, "Oh wow, this has helped me," and that was just how it started. So when you think too much, you'll be stuck. Share, like, share as if you're documenting, share as if, just the way you said, I'm putting this for myself because, I mean, it's something I want to go back to. It's something that I'm sharing my experience. Authenticity sells. Whenever I'm doing my trainings, I say that a lot. Nobody can tell your story as much as you want to. I mean, whenever you open LinkedIn, you're saying 5 ways to boost your this, 3 ways you can gain extra income, 20 ways to, the 5 lessons I learned. 20. We are tired of the lessons. Can we know you? Okay. Let's know your journey. Let's hear your experience. Let's know what you did, the challenges you faced, how did you overcome those challenges. That is what. So don't think too much. Another thing I see why people struggle, I feel like it's one of the things that people do that make them struggle, is that they try to copy. They try to copy. Maybe you've seen someone that is this person's post goes viral, the person is trending and all. So you want to copy the person's style. You want to maybe like copy the, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen. I mean, the one that really got me like in awe was once I saw someone's profile, like literally word to word, everything on my banner, 10x your exactly how I wrote it, the positioning, the CTA, everything, same color, everything. She just duplicated my banner, and I looked at it and I was like, for everything I put on my banner, I had a reason for it. My
Mm-hmm.
branding, the color choices, the font I used, everything was part of my brand and my unique selling points, my value added proposition. So when you tend to copy, you lack authenticity in what you're doing, and you would struggle. You would struggle because, I mean, it's not. I don't know if it's a better way I can put this, right? So when you're starting out and you want to get this visibility, as much as you can, be as authentic as possible. Don't think too much, don't second guess, right? Just share. Don't share because you're looking for the likes. Don't share because you want engagement. Just share, and I can promise you that eventually your people will find you and it will
Yeah.
click. Yeah, so that's it.
Thank you so much. I'm getting so much from you as well. Thank you so much for adding that. Okay. Let's talk about okay, let's talk about lessons and advice as someone who has experience in the field. Okay, so before we talk about that, what does being remote ready visible, remote red being remote ready and visible mean to you?
Sorry.
It's okay.
So being
Remote
remote,
ready
ready,
and
and
visible.
visible, what does it mean to me? I mean, for me, it starts with clarity. Everything I do, I always say it starts with clarity. The goal is visibility. What does visibility mean? Visibility means being seen, being known, being the go-to person for something. I can say, oh, this person is visible because if I'm looking for a virtual assistant, she's the person I would go to. She has built visibility, she's grown her visibility in this. So it always starts with clarity, right? And then um value as well. You need to be able to put up so much value that someone sees you and instantly they know how you can help them, right? That it's like being ready. You get, how would I put this? Let me put it this way. You are a virtual assistant, like I said, you know your niche clearly, you've defined your audience and everything, and you share content that addresses the pain points of your target audience. So when eventually they stumble on your page and they go through your content and everything, they can see instantly how you can help them achieve what they're looking for, right? That means you've stayed ready. So the whole essence of being remote, ready, visible is building up your digital footprint so it speaks for you even when you're not in the room. That's the whole
Mhm.
essence of visibility. Building your digital footprint up to the point that when someone searches you or someone sees you, someone comes across your profile, they know who you are, what you offer, the problems you solve, everything. Digital footprint speaks for you. So that's what
Mm.
it means to me.
Thank you so much for that. I think that's one thing that people need to like take very intentional. And I think you explained it very well. And if I'm to add to it, I'm going to say remote ready and visibility to me, it reflects your mindset. I think Udak also mentioned that you have to stay like intentionally ready. You have to be ready to adapt and to make impact. Remember, I said ready to adapt because the ecosystem is changing. People are coming, they have more skills. And when we are talking about remote ready, you have to have the skills to be able to deliver anywhere, keep learning. Also, when we are talking about remote, especially if you are looking at beyond working in your own environment, you want to work with people from other states, other countries, continents as well. You have to be aware of time zone. How can you manage your time? How can you thrive when it comes to cross culture team? How can you manage communication? How can you stay proactive? And it is also very important for you to be structured on your own. If you're working remotely, nobody is going to say, "What have you done today?" Really. Unlike when you work from the office, nobody. So you have to stay structured, you have to be disciplined, you have to manage your time, your energy, and your deliverables. I've mentioned something about learning as well. You have to be flexible, and you have to. I think we mentioned that earlier. You have to stay maintain work-life balance. If you are working remotely, you have to maintain work-life balance. And on the other side, visibility, share your work. Build in public. Share your spark. Let people know that this is the impact you are making. You can do that for the work you're currently doing, and at the same time, if you are doing that, you are preparing the ground for the next thing you are going to do. That next, I used to call it the next big, a big dream. So share your work, show people what you are made of, show on, let people be able to like speak for you. Uduak also mentioned it, let your work speak for itself, and also be discoverable. If you go on LinkedIn now and you type community manager, will your name come out as a community manager? Will people be able to like look at your profile and say, indeed, this is the person I want to hire? So when that opportunity, my mentor used to tell me that you should prepare for that opportunity that you are hoping to get. Not like when the opportunity will come, you are
Yeah.
not ready. So you have to stay ready. Exactly. And for your the impact you're also making already, let it be something people can trace. I remember when I used to work with She Code Africa, if I do anything within the community, I'm going to post it online. And it has actually helped me. I remember there was a project I was supposed to be hired for, and the person said, don't tell us about your past work. We have seen it online. Tell us what you want to do for us. That is because the work, the impact that I have made so far is actually something people can trace. They can say, oh, go as far back as 2021, Omotola did this. So it helps you to even like stay visible, with the right people, and it helps you to like make connection and when it comes to your visibility, it's going to be sustainable. And I should add this before we move to the next question: empower others. Uduak mentioned how she has a passion, she has the experience, she has been doing it, and now she's giving back. As she's giving back, she's learning more, and she's also making impact. Visibility is about lifting others. Elegance Media has a vision, we have a goal, and we have the agency part that we are helping businesses and organizations to do it. But at the same time, we have the social impact part where we are helping empowering people to build that same skills, where we are having such initiative like this, where we are bringing people who have actually walked the journey to talk about their experience to empower other people. So build yourself, lift others, empower others, maybe mentorship, contributing, community building, or anyone. Okay, so let's move to the last question that I have for Uduak.
Okay.
State like 2 or 3 practical steps for someone who actually wants to build, online, who wants to stay visible online, but this time around in an authentic way, because you've mentioned authenticity like several times, in an authentic and sustainable way.
Okay. So you want to build online. You've decided that okay, I'm ready to build visibility. I want to be known for something, right? Of course, I always start with the first thing. What exactly do you want to share? What do you want to know? Get clarity. Your clarity process is it's like a very detailed process. Okay, what do I want to be known for? What platform am I going to choose to start building my visibility on? Right? What kind of content do I want to post? How often do I want to post? Once you've structured all of that, you've gotten like the foundation laid out. The next thing you need to do is like just the way she said, is um content is everywhere. Every day there is content everywhere, right? Authenticity is very important. Start from sharing your experiences. In fact, that sometimes someone said something the other time and said, people on LinkedIn, it's always I'm true to announce, it's always success stories and all of that. People don't share their struggles. It's a lie. It's a lie. No, not the LinkedIn I know. Because the LinkedIn I know, people talk about rejections, people talk about how they apply for jobs that are getting rejections. People talk about maybe how a job went wrong, the issue with clients. People share all those stories, right? And you feel like uh, stories like that, it will shock you how it resonates with people. Stories like that are, in fact, they're easy to go viral. Like, because people will repost it because it's things they can relate to, it's things that they're currently experiencing and stuff. So share authentic stories about your journey, the book you're reading, the resource that you're currently taking right now, everything, right? And like I said, starts with this thing, an idea funnel. There's some content that I my idea funnel I put down since last year. I haven't posted them yet because maybe when I'm going through it, I'm like, okay, it's not yet time, or maybe no, not yet, or something. Maybe I've not gotten an idea of how to repurpose it very well to post, but it's still there in my idea content, in my idea funnel, and a time will come when I'm going to post it out there, right? So have like an idea funnel. You can work with I mean planners. I use two planners. I use like Google Keep. Almost if you open if you have access to my Google Keep, you would see my cheat code because all the content I have on my LinkedIn page actually on my Google Keep. I use them to when I'm typing and all of that is on my Google Keep, right? You can use a planner like Notion to plan your content for which day you're posting and all of that. So these things are that tools that are there to help you leverage the tools. You can even like use scheduling tools to schedule ahead of time, you get, so that you don't skip a day. If you're like if you're trying to stay consistent, of course consistent is very very important if you want to achieve visibility. You can't post 1 week and disappear, come back after 2 weeks and post and disappear. You will not build visibility that way. You want to be in people's faces. You want to be remembered. You want to, so you need to be consistent. Okay. Then another thing I see people make a mistake is engagement. Engagement is a see, however you want to put it, engagement is a very very critical aspect of building visibility. You want to I got a job, I think I got a job last year November. Excuse me. I got a job last year November from a comment I made. Honestly, it's just someone posted, it resonated, I read through it, I just picked one or two things, I put a thoughtful comment out there, and then my boss was in my DM. Oh, I saw your comment on a mutual's post, and I went through your profile, and I believe you're like the person that we need for this role. Interview. I didn't send CV, I didn't send portfolio. It was from there to interview to offer letter. So you need to look at engagement as part of your visibility growth or your visibility journey, right? Connect with people. You want to build authentic relationships with people. In fact, one of the key things I did when I was starting out my visibility journey was I identified people that were consistent in my niche, people that were like active and all of that. Every single day, I would drop comments, I would engage to the point that I became a notable face that they began to look out for my content. A day I don't post, by my DM, what happened? I didn't see your post today. That was how the friendship was built, which has even sustained all this month, right? So try to build relationships. You would see it even like on platforms like Instagram. It's like maybe some of these content creators, they comment on each other's posts. It's part of it. Engagement is a very, very critical. If you post and you disappear, you don't respond to comments, you don't engage on other people's comments, it will be hard for you to grow. Yeah, it will be hard for you to grow. So you need to post, respond to comments, engage on other creators' content. Like you're putting your face out there. Sometimes I pause to read comments and I see profiles. I click profiles. I follow people from there, right? So it's a very, very critical aspect of building your visibility, your consistency. And I mean, I was asked for 2 tips. I think I've talked for so long.
This is
So I
what
think
make you
I'll hand over to you to continue.
that is what makes you an expert. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing today with us. Thank you so much for the insights. Thank you so much for diving in to sharing your experience, to sharing the journey so far, tips, and so on and so forth. For those that are watching this video, if you're watching this video later, ensure to follow Uduak. The link to her profile is in the description of this video, and also to connect with her, learn more about what she's doing with VirtualHyve, and also learn more about our journey, because it's just unfolding. There's still more to unfold. So ensure to follow her. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. Uduak, thank you so much once again for joining us.
It's
We
been my
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Okay, we've come to the end of today's session, and see you next time on another episode of Grow with Elegance. Bye, everyone.
Bye.